UFC 325 goes down on Saturday, and I'm going to be giving my mostly full card predictions. I am not predicting any one of the first few fights because I'm pretty sure those are mostly fights part of the Contender Series, and we do not care about that stuff. So, starting off, Khan Ofli versus Yija. I am picking Yija to win this fight. Khan Ofli, he mostly relies on grappling. Yija, he's younger. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage. He's also more experienced. And plus, from what I've seen from him, he's powerful on the feet. He's explosive. He's got a dynamic striking game. I'm picking Yija to win probably by a first or second round finish. I believe he will be able to stop Ofli's grappling, and he should get the victory. Moving up the card, we have Jonathan Mikhailov taking on Oban Elliott. A very close fight in the welterweight division. Both the same height, but Jonathan Mikhailov has a 5-inch reach advantage. Oban Elliott was on a pretty good win streak in the UFC. He was 3-0, but then he fought Seokyeon Ko and got out-grappled and out-dogged. He got outstruck on the feet, and he got out-grappled. But the thing is, with Seokyeon Ko, he's a very high-pressure fighter on the feet, and he is actually a very strong grappler. Obviously, we saw in his last fight, he basically controlled Philip Rowe for like 14 whole minutes. Jonathan Mikhailov, he's not really that style of fighter. He's not very pressure-heavy on the feet. His bread and butter is mostly just his kick game. And in the grappling realm, Jonathan Mikhailov does have a good submission game. He is pretty good there, but Oban Elliott, I feel, is a little bit more polished in the grappling. So I think if this fight does hit the mat, Oban Elliott will have an advantage there. Hard one to pick. This is a tough one, but I'm going to have to give the slight edge to Jonathan Mikhailov. I feel like his BJJ skills are good enough to make Oban Elliott wary of the grappling. And on the feet, one thing that I have noticed from Oban Elliott, it was in his fight with Basil Hafez. He would repeatedly dip his head down to the right, and Jonathan Mikhailov in the southpaw stance, he has a nasty kick game, and he has a very quick and powerful head kick that I think he can catch Oban Elliott with if Elliott's not careful on the feet. Mikhailov has a good chance at getting a KO in this fight with that high kick. Elliott dipping down to the right. And plus, I'm pretty sure, I feel like he's going to be the more physically strong fighter. I know it says they're both the same height, but Mikhailov is probably going to be a little bit taller. Plus, with his 5-inch reach advantage, he's a high-level submission artist. He'll probably be able to hold his own in the grappling exchanges, even though I feel like Oban Elliott will have a small advantage there. I'm picking Jonathan Mikhailov. I feel like he's got slightly more... I feel like he's the one who can capitalize off more mistakes the other fighter makes on the feet than Oban Elliott. But it is an extremely close one. I can see it going either way. But yeah, give me Jonathan Mikhailov, probably by a decision. Moving up the card, we have Jacob Malkoun taking on Therese Finney. Another pretty close fight in the middleweight division this time. Give me Therese Finney. Therese Finney, he's younger, he's undefeated. I feel like he's a little bit hungrier. One thing to take into account, Jacob Malkoun is coming off a 2-year layoff. And looking at his footage from his fights before, nothing really stands out. He is a pretty good grappler, but the grappling is Therese Finney's bread and butter. He's going to be physically stronger in the grappling exchanges. And on the feet, Jacob Malkoun isn't really that high level. And Therese Finney, he is pretty powerful on the feet. I feel like we're going to see a more improved version of Therese Finney this time out. While Malkoun does have a 1-inch height advantage, Therese Finney has a 2-inch reach advantage. I'm going with Therese Finney to get this one done, probably by decision. I don't really see him getting a finish. I mean, who knows? Maybe Jacob Malkoun will hit Therese Finney with his hip and knock him out like he did his last opponent. But I don't really think that's going to happen to a guy like Therese Finney, who doesn't really take that many risks in fights. Give me Therese Finney to control Jacob Malkoun more and give me him to win a decision. Moving up the card, another bout in the middleweight division. We have Cam Rouston versus Cody Brundage. I'm picking Cam Rouston by KO. Cody Brundage, he's very chinny. He's not very high level on the feet. And Cam Rouston with his 6-inch reach advantage and a 3-inch height advantage. And I think he's going to get him early. Cody Brundage, doesn't have the best defense on the feet, and I don't think he is a high-level enough grappler to be able to dominate the grappling exchanges with Cam Rouston or take him down and control him for a long period of time. Give me Cam Rouston to win by KO early. Moving up the card in the prelim feature bout in the light heavyweight division, we have Junior Tafa versus Billy Elikana. I am picking Billy Elikana by first round finish. He's the way superior grappler. He's got a good submission game. I'm pretty sure in his UFC debut, which was on short notice, he controlled Bogdan Guskov for almost an entire round and had his back. Yeah, and Junior Tafa with his grappling is pretty terrible, if I do say so myself. Billy Elikana with a 2.5-inch reach advantage, and he does have improved striking. His striking looked pretty solid in his last fight, but I don't think that the striking is his path to victory. I think he is going to take him down early, and from that point on, it'll be a quick night. Give me Billy Elikana to get it done with a first-round submission. Moving up, we have the main card opener in the lightweight division between Quillen Salakulid and Jamie Mullarkey. Really tough fight to predict. I can see this one going either way. Yeah, obviously, give me Quillen Salakulid by first round finish. He's got knockout power on the feet. He's very solid on the feet, and he is a very good grappler. He's shown it against Yanal Ashmouz. In that fight, a lot of people thought that Yanal Ashmouz's path to victory was to grapple, and Quillen Salakulid took him down multiple occasions throughout that fight. I feel like Quillen Salakulid, he's the slightly better grappler. He's coming into his prime. He's high level on the feet. He's got serious KO power. And Jamie Mullarkey, very chinny, not that high level on the feet. I guess mildly plausible in the grappling, but nothing impressive. Nothing in Jamie Mullarkey's game really stands out and makes this a very interesting fight. I feel like this is going to be another first-round finish for Quillen Salakulid. So give me Salakulid to win by first-round TKO. Next up, in the heavyweight division, Tai Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira. This is actually a very close fight. And I know a lot of people probably don't think that, but it actually is. Taliesin Teixeira, he hasn't really looked that high level on the feet. He is pretty fast. He is powerful, but nothing really elite in his game on the feet. And Tai Tuivasa, even though he is on a losing streak, 3 of those losses are to the top 3 best ranked fighters in the division outside of Aspinall. You know, Cyril Gane, Volkov, Pavlovich. And even in his last fight, it was a loss to Rosenstrike, but it was competitive. And before that, he did get submitted in the first round by Marcin Tybura. But Marcin Tybura is actually one of the best grapplers in the heavyweight division, if I gotta be honest. Taliesin Teixeira is probably not going to mix in any grappling in this fight. This fight will probably be entirely spent on the feet. Tuivasa, he does have very good leg kicks, and I don't really know how good Taliesin Teixeira is with checking leg kicks. He's got a 5-inch height advantage and an 8-inch reach advantage. Yeah, I think I gotta pick Taliesin Teixeira. It's a safer pick. He's far taller, far longer. He hits hard. I feel like he's going to be hungrier entering this fight, coming off a loss to Derek Lewis. And Tai Tuivasa's pretty much reached the end of his career. Yeah, I'm going with Taliesin Teixeira. Give me Taliesin Teixeira to probably win by a finish in the first or second round. But I can see Tai Tuivasa fluking it in this one. But I don't want to get very underdog happy with this one. Give me Taliesin Teixeira to win. Moving up the card, we have Rafael Fazia versus Mauricio Rufy in the lightweight division. Another very close fight. Mauricio Rufy, he's got a 3-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. But in Rafael Faziev's last fight, we saw him beat the way taller, 6'3", much longer reach, Ignacio Bahamondes. But Mauricio Rufy is a bit of a better striker than Bahamondes. He's more powerful on the feet. He's faster with his strikes. And I know Rufy, he is coming off a loss to Benoit Saint-Denis, but where he got mostly dominated in that fight. But Faziev is not a Benoit Saint-Denis style fighter. Saint-Denis is a very strong, pressure-heavy grappler who's got high-level submission skills and ground and pound. Rafael Faziev isn't a very high-level grappler. He's got good wrestling. He's got good takedown entries, but he doesn't really have any submission skills. He doesn't have very impressive ground and pound or control. And Mauricio Rufy, he's been training with Craig Jones and Volkanovski. So I'm willing to bet that his grappling is going to be improved in this fight. And even if he does get taken down, he will be able to get back up pretty easily. But yeah, I expect this fight to be mostly spent on the feet. The thing with Rafael Faziev is he doesn't really fight aggressively. He kind of just sits back and waits for the other guy to make the move. And Mauricio Rufy, he's very powerful, and Faziev, he doesn't really have the best striking defense. I know there are multiple clips from fights of him dodging spinning wheel kicks from other opponents, and it looks like he's in the Matrix. But when it comes to just his boxing defense, it's not really good. He does get hit quite a bit. And Mauricio Rufy, he is very powerful. He does have serious KO threat entering this fight. It's a tough one, but I think I'm going to have to pick Mauricio Rufy. It's extremely close. I can definitely see Rafael Faziev getting it done. But I feel like Rufy, he's going to be a lot better in this fight. This is going to be the best version of him that we've ever seen before. His grappling is going to be improved. And Rafael Faziev, with his weak boxing defense, I feel like Rufy's going to be able to catch him with something nasty on the feet. I feel like this is just a style of fight that better suits Rufy than Faziev. It is extremely close. It is basically 50-50, but I give a slight edge to Rufy with his height and reach advantage, his power advantage, and Faziev not really being a grappler-heavy, pressure-heavy fighter. I feel like this is the kind of fight that fits Mauricio Rufy's style better than Faziev's. Give me Mauricio Rufy to win, probably by a finish. It is extremely close, but I'm giving the edge to Rufy to win this one. Moving up, we have the co-main event, Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint-Denis. This is actually a very close fight. A lot closer than I'm pretty sure some people think it will be. But I'm still picking Benoit Saint-Denis to get it done. Dan Hooker had a war with Mateusz Gamrot, and Benoit Saint-Denis, he's basically a bigger, more powerful, more dangerous grappler than Mateusz Gamrot. Now, on the feet, though, Dan Hooker's got an advantage. Benoit Saint-Denis, he does walk into a lot of stuff on the feet. He is sloppy on the feet. Dan Hooker could catch him with something pretty nasty on the feet. He's got good boxing, good knees up the middle, good kick game. Dan Hooker's got a chance to win this fight as long as it's standing. He is the better striker. He's more dangerous on the feet. But I feel like Santini knows where his advantage is, and he's going to stick to that. While Benoit Santini may not be as good of a grappler as Arman Tsarukyan or an Islam Makhachev, he isn't that far off from that. He's got a very good submission game. He's good at control. He's pretty good at control. And he's got good ground and pound. He's powerful. I'm picking Benoit Santini to get it done with a third round submission. But I'm going to say this. If this fight goes into the later rounds, I feel like Dan Hooker will have an advantage. Given that he has 5-round experience, he has great stamina, he can push a high pace for a long distance. Benoit Santini's, his cardio, it's kind of a mystery because I haven't really ever seen him go past, like, I think the 3rd round or something. This is a close fight. It is a hard one to predict, but I feel like Benoit Santini is the safer pick. He's in his prime years. And Dan Hooker, he is 35 years old. I think he turns 36 next month. Give me Santini to win by a 3rd round submission, but I am 100% not counting out Dan Hooker to get the win in this fight. But I feel like BSD, he's the safer pick, so give me him to get the job done. Moving up to the main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. The rematch no one asked for, but the one we are getting. I am picking Alexander Volkanovski to get it done again. Diego Lopez in his last fight with Gene Silva, he showed no improvements. He made no adjustments. And he doesn't really have many advantages. The only way he can win this fight is if he lands a big KO punch. But I feel like Volk will still be able to outclass him. He'll be better in the striking exchange. He will be the better striker in this fight, and he is the better grappler. In their first fight, the only attempts at grappling were from Volk, and Volk did get the better of Diego Lopez when the fight was to the ground. The fight was on the ground that one time at the end of the first round. Lopez doesn't hold an advantage in the grappling. His only chance on the feet is by landing a big, wild KO punch, but I don't think he's going to. Volkanovski, he's great at making adjustments in fights, and the only adjustment, if Diego Lopez is working on adjusting this camp, the only thing he will do differently this time out is he's going to try and go at Volk early because he was a little bit patient early on. But that will play to Diego Lopez's disadvantage because Lopez doesn't have great stamina. He gassed out against Dan Ige. He got fatigued against Brian Ortega. If Diego Lopez attacks Volkanovski early, looking to get him out of there quick, that will just gas himself out, and then Volk will be able to piece him up easier, and he'll win very dominantly in the later rounds. So yeah, that's kind of how I think the fight's going to go. I think Diego Lopez, he's going to try and bulldoze Volk in the first round, but it's not going to go his way. Volk's going to outsmart him. He's going to be defensively sound. He'll clench when needed to. Now, I'm not saying Diego Lopez doesn't stand any chance. Maybe he can land a big KO shot on the feet, given that Volkanovski is a little bit older this time out, but not by much. It's literally only been like 9 months since their first fight. Look, it is possible that Lopez lands a KO shot and wins this fight, but I'm just saying it's unlikely that that happens. I feel like Volkanovski, my prediction for how this fight's going to go out, Lopez is going to come out guns blazing early, trying to finish it early this time out and not be so hesitant, but that'll play to his disadvantage. He's going to gas out after he doesn't get the finish. Volk will outsmart him. He'll be defensively sound. He'll clench. And then from that point on, Volk will completely take over and Lopez will find no success at all. And Volkanovski, I just think he's going to outclass him again. Diego Lopez, he hasn't made any adjustments since the Volk fight. He showed no improvements against Gene Silva. Give me Volk. I am picking in the main event. Pick Alexander Volkanovski to get it done, probably by a decision win.